The first block of 49ers training camp practices is in the books, and session 4 was a busy one. A lot of good plays, but first, some injury news. 49ers starting right guard from last season, Spencer Burford, he's broken his hand, and he's probably going to miss a few weeks. Right now, the 49ers and Burford are determining whether or not he's going to have to undergo surgery, but either way, you can expect him to miss some time, and that's going to stretch into the month of August. And what that has done is it's opened the door for the rookie, the third-round pick, Dominick Puni, to grab first-team reps at that right guard position. Now, John Feliciano, who last year replaced Spencer Burford as the starter at right guard down the stretch, he also has been out of practice the past 2 days. So Dominick Puni's there working with the 49ers first team at that right guard spot, and you have to project forward and see what they might do along this offensive line. I think that this indeed is a golden opportunity for Dominick Puni to try to secure some early playing time for the 49ers. It seems that they're doing a lot of experimentation, not just at that right guard position, obviously by necessity due to these injuries, but also at center. Jake Brendel's the incumbent starter there, and he's still taking the first team reps of these practices. But remember that Brendel was dealing with a knee tendonitis over the course of the spring program. That's why he didn't practice then. At the very least, the 49ers are easing the load on Brendel during first team reps, because we saw both Ben Barch and Nick Zakel, the third-year player, a roommate of Brock Purdy, saw both of those guys also take first-team reps at center. So when you look at this, the 49ers' weakest position, or two positions last year, were center and right guard, along an offensive line that in general struggled outside of Trent Williams. And that's also important for this offensive line. They need to get Trent Williams back, because Jalen Moore at left tackle, he's not going to be a plus starting caliber player for the 49ers. But either way, center and right guard, that was the biggest weakness last year. And those positions have been in, at the very least, a state of experimentation here early in training camp. Injuries forcing Puni into that right guard spot, and he might be ready for it. The 49ers, I mean, they picked this guy out of Kansas, Dominick Puni, who didn't give up a single sack in 2 years with the Jayhawks. He came from Central Missouri before that, a D2 school, and he seamlessly made the transition to D1 football. So who's to say he can't make the transition from D1 football to the NFL, since he's already made that big D2 to D1 transition. He looks the type physically. 49ers have all spoken well of him. Chris Furster called Dominick Puni special the other day. He's played all 5 positions, so he's got experience everywhere. I think that it's definitely in the cards and on the table, the possibility of Dominick Puni starting right away. Remember, Spencer Burford started as a rookie at that right guard position, but unfortunately for the 49ers, he struggled last year, and now he's broken his hand, so we'll see if they're going to use August to make a transition at that offensive line position. Practice today, or one more note from after it, Kyle Shanahan said that Talanoa Hufanga is going to be back in a week or two, and then when he was pressed for more details, he said that Hufanga is currently on PUP, physically unable to perform, coming off the ACL tear, finishing up his rehab. He said around the time of the joint practices with the Saints, which are going to be down in Irvine, that's when the 49ers are going to evaluate Talanoa Hufanga and potentially activate him from PUP and for practice. So that's in mid-August, and we're currently in late July. So yes, a couple weeks from now, Talanoa Hufanga might be back out on that field. It is notable to say that Kyle Shanahan said that he feels great about where the 49ers safety position is at right now. So Kyle Shanahan not worried about that safety position. Doesn't sound like the 49ers are imminently going to sign somebody to reinforce that safety position. And I think the good feelings about Talanoa Hufanga returning at some point soon are definitely buoying the 49ers' belief in the safety position. Okay, practice today. Brock Purdy made some more good throws. He's been making good throws, especially those intermediates. He got one over Fred Warner today. He's been making those every single practice. We've been making those for 2 seasons now. The intermediate passes for Brock Purdy, we haven't seen an NFL quarterback more efficient on intermediate throws than Brock Purdy has been over these past 2 seasons, and that's on documented record. Remember that the yards per attempt, like 12.3 yards per attempt on throws that traveled between 10 and 20 yards in the air. So we're seeing more of the same from Brock Purdy at practice. He spoke with Mike Silver from the San Francisco Chronicle in an interview, and that came out today, and Purdy's quote was, "I want to be dominant." He was citing Tom Brady, and Tom Brady's just ruthless domination of opponents is something that he wants to attain himself. Well, Brock Purdy is well on his way to dominance based on how this training camp has started for him. He has looked in total command for the 49ers, despite the fact that they've had some upheaval in front of him along that offensive line. Good news for the 49ers today is that the backup quarterback position looked better, at least with Josh Dobbs. He went 10 of 11. I talked about Dobbs struggling through the first 3 days of practice, airmailing some of those throws over the middle, just generally not looking as comfortable, especially accuracy-wise for the 49ers. Was not the case today. He hit Danny Gray on a deep out, and he hit Chris Conley on a deep out, just two perfectly placed passes, not easy throws. And then later on, he hit Danny Gray on a seam route. And you might notice that I'm mentioning Danny Gray's name a lot. That's also nice news for the 49ers. The speedster out of SMU has been, hindered by injuries, buried on the depth chart here for a couple seasons. He actually entered the league the same year as Trey Lance in 2021, and there was so much hype about Danny Gray after he caught that deep pass from Trey Lance in the preseason against the Packers back in 2021. But other than that, we haven't heard from him much except for special teams, and obviously the injuries essentially scuttled his entire 2023 season. So Gray caught 3 passes today. 2 of those were really impressive routes and throws from Josh Dobbs downfield. So good news for the 49ers backup quarterback position, which had been languishing a bit through the first 3 practices. There was a play today that I thought was great news for the 49ers on multiple fronts. Christian McCaffrey came out of the backfield and was sprinting down the left sideline. Brock Purdy made a perfect throw, back shoulder throw to Christian McCaffrey near the sideline. It would have been a really tough catch. McCaffrey couldn't hold on. It would have been a really tough catch because Devondre Campbell, the 49ers' new linebacker, the veteran who's the favorite to be the number 2 next to Fred Warner while Dre Greenlaw recovers, Campbell had McCaffrey blanketed on the whole route. And remember, Devondre Campbell was an All-Pro 2 seasons ago. Last season, it seemed that he really slowed down for the Packers. Actually, gave up the highest passer rating of any qualifying linebacker in the league on throws into his coverage. If Campbell can regain, and he's 31 years old now, if he can regain some of his coverage speed to the level that he showed as an All-Pro a couple years ago, look out. And that play today where he blanketed McCaffrey, that opened my eyes. I mean, that's potentially really, really good news for the 49ers. Now, it was a perfect throw from Purdy, and you can't even be upset with McCaffrey for not hauling it in because it would have had to have been a perfect throw and catch to beat the coverage from Devondre Campbell. So I just thought that was a one-play anecdote of something that was good on all cylinders for the 49ers. One more injury report. We know that Jacob Cowing has been out. It's because of a hamstring, the rookie out of Arizona. So Cowing, just like Ricky Pearsall, just like Isaac Guerrero, those are 3 49ers rookies. They're all out with hamstring issues. The 49ers do expect Pearsall to be back in the fold next week, perhaps as soon as Monday. There was another cool moment with a linebacker today. Tatum Bethune, the 49ers rookie out of Florida State. One play, the 49ers ran a rollout with one of their backup quarterbacks, and it was a naked bootleg, and those are plays that test the defense's discipline on the play fake, right? The rookie, Tatum Bethune, good recognition, did not bite on the play fake, stayed home, and then the 49ers' new defensive assistant, was KJ Wright, the former Seattle Seahawk. He was fired up because obviously KJ Wright comes from the linebacker background. He was a linebacker for the Seahawks for a long time. It appears to me that he's very, very interested in the development of Tatum Bethune. And he came up to Tatum Bethune and gave him a big high five, kind of sprinted out onto the field to congratulate Bethune for staying home, which a rookie won't often do facing a Shanahan offense in training camp. So that, to me, was impressive from the 49ers 7th rounder. And then it looked like he had a good run fit right after that got KJ Wright excited as well. Darrell Luter Jr., nice pass breakup on a slant. That was attempted to Jawan Jennings today. And then the rest of our notes here at practice, I think that was essentially it that we needed to cover for today. The 49ers did a lot of kickoff return work today. Trent Taylor's been making a few catches at practice as well. I did notice that they're giving Logan Ryan a lot of individualized attention in the combo blocking drills that they're doing at the start of practice. Logan caught 55 passes for Washington last year, but the question is, can he evolve into a good enough run blocker for the 49ers to grab that fourth and final tight end spot? Because I'm guessing they're only going to take 4, and they're very, very much working hard toward buttoning up the technique for Logan Ryan, for Logan Thomas. Did I say Logan Ryan? I might have said Logan Ryan. Logan Ryan retired. He played safety and nickelback for the 49ers last year. But Logan Thomas, they've been working very, very hard at perfecting his run blocking. And that's going to be the key for him to try to make this 53-man roster. Meanwhile, the 49ers targeted Cam Latu, who's probably in a battle with Logan Thomas for that tight end spot, or one of those tight end spots. They targeted Cam Latu for the first time this training camp, but one of the throws was knocked away by Diamondo Lenore. Latu did not get enough separation against a cornerback, which is not surprising, and the other was overthrown on a short pass by Brandon Allen. Allen did not have a good day. If we're going to talk about QB2 battle, I think Dobbs, who went 10 of 11, definitely looked much sharper than Brandon Allen today. All right, first 4 practices in the books. The 49ers have been out here for that stretch of time. They're going to take tomorrow, Sunday off, and then Monday, the pads are going to come on here at the facility in Santa Clara. So that was just the warm-up. Training camp's about to get real. That's why you need to subscribe for the most detailed updates that exist, because pads are coming on and the competitions are really going to start raging in full tilt coming on Monday. We'll talk to everybody soon.